Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome to all the guests. We have two very important guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Zach Sonnen.
Zach
Sonnen.
From
West Orange, New Jersey.
West Orange, New Jersey. And you? Eli Stefansky from Edison, New Jersey. And you're on the Machach, the what? Bnei Akiva Machach. Last night we had NCSY call, 30 guys, beautiful. One day we'll get the picture, hopefully. We'll show it in Shir. Maybe Yosef will get it. He's not even here. Okay, who else do we have? What's your name? Tzaddik with the tefillin. You allowed to talk? Okay, what's your name? Gidon? Fishman. Don't listen to that guy. He's the let's of the Shir. He's Breslov. If you're not... Yeah, don't worry about it. Shalom, where are you from? Los Angeles. Oh, Los Angeles. The Chevron in Los Angeles, you should know, Be'ezer Hashem, I'm going to be there hopefully the 15th, 16th, and 17th of August. To be mechazik, shiurim, in the valley, not in the valley, all over the place. Rebelli, everything you say is great. You hear that? Everything. But yesterday when you talked about people in your life who live in your head rent-free, should be on your greatest hit list. I too went through a similar situation, ended up paying out of pocket big time, 6 figures to get out of a bad situation. Time went by, days, months, years, but it haunted me. How could this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? This person remained in my head rent-free, creating anger and resentment. 10 plus years later, I decided right or wrong, I will ask this person for mechila and just take the high road. After all, there are two sides to every story. Even though I felt in the right, everybody does, right? Perhaps I could have taken a different approach. While only voicemails were left between me and the other party, the messages back and forth were real and heartfelt. While I did not recoup any of the dollars, of the money, I felt a sense of peace and shalom ben al mechaver. Hashem had plans and I learned a tremendous lesson. But most importantly, this person no longer occupied my headspace and the feelings of hate and resentment slowly melted away. Your words yesterday hit home personally, not easy by any means, and it's something we can all work on. The chizuk you give every day is meaningful, powerful, and spot on. Your Talmud and chassid. Dov Eisenberger, Englewood, New Jersey. Like somewhere in between you guys? Where's Englewood compared to you?
Further north.
Further north. I'm from New York, so north means nothing. Right or left? Right over the bridge. Hi, Rebelli. Attaches a picture of my good friend, Michael Lebayov, the one who won the MDY raffle. You guys remember he won a raffle? What did he win? What was it? Shabbaton? Shas. Maybe a Shas. I was confused. Shabbaton, this. No, yeah, Jonathan Stefansky won a Shabbaton. So he won more of a Shas. He's watching and learning the daf together with his 11-year-old son. We had a $10,000 raffle? Wow. Cash. Wow. Whose idea was that? It's probably Yossi. Yossi loves raffles. He's learning here with his son Yonah, as they do every night. Michael and Yonah are planning in Hashem to come to you by his bar mitzvah. All the best of Rumi Leibowitz. His bar mitzvah is in 2 years. Okay. Thanks a lot for giving up your day for us. As I'm a bacher and don't have any real kfiyos as usual, it helps me a lot know that I have a determination. I'm in a Hasidic dorm yeshiva, and obviously I cannot sit in Beis Medrash and watch a video. So I have to go to other place. And I made my one stand and I'm watching it on a tiny screen. But that makes it a lot more fun. You can show the picture if you want. I thought it's very cool. Look how he watches the shir. That's a kosher phone. Yeah, look at this ketchup. Wow. I don't know what that is. He has his cigarettes. Bava Basra, Daf Yomi. But on the kosher phone, he's watching a shir. Unbelievable. Okay. On Erev Shabbos, at the end of the email, someone signed that they were from Brachas Daf Beis. And then you were half bothered and said that it can't be true. Not everyone joined at the beginning. And we found out later on that he was, and we found the email from him that he was literally from Brachas. Well, from today's shir, I think we're Masber, the Emes Pshat, on Bava Basra, Amud Aleph, where two people said, Zeh Oimer Shel Avoisai, Zeh Oimer Shel Avoisai. When one guy later admitted, you're right, it's your father's, but I bought it from them. The Gemara then asked, but didn't he just say that it was his father's property? He's changing his taina, to which the Gemara explains, he didn't mean literally it was my father's. I felt so secure that it was my property, that it was like it was my father's property that I inherited. So too by MDY. When people say they joined by brachas daf beis, maybe they don't mean it literally that they joined at daf beis. People are saying we love the shir so much, I feel like this is my place. Shalavoisai, like I've been here forever from daf beis. Hope this helps explain things. Your Talmud Ilan from brachas daf beis. But actually a newbie from Bava Basra daf beis. The cycle. Very nice. I have a feeling we're going to hear from this guy. The Masechta sponsor for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Rabbi, so we got to daven that this thing doesn't escalate. I think like how many 10-year-olds were killed yesterday in a Druzy village in the middle of a soccer game. And it just means that, Israel's going to have to retaliate. They have to. And, hopefully it doesn't escalate. The Parashat Chodesh, Ahron Fraiman, is chus to rebellion for continuing siyadta dishmaya and teaching torah to klal Yisroel. Parashat Chodesh, for shleima. Neftali הערץ ben העניא, a hidden tzaddik in our generation. Parashat Chodesh, le'nishma Zechrיה ben Moshe, le'nishma Zechrיה bas Yosef. Parashat Yomi. Yesterday, right in this seat over here, we had a very, very chashuv person, and throughout the shir, I was very impressed by his midos. He was like a big anav, and you saw that I was sitting next to somebody very special. Rabbi Yisroel Kaminetsky, sponsored today, L'zeich Nishmas, Rav Dovid Tzvi ben Rav Yosef, Rabbi Dovid Kaminetsky. The Shom should have an aliyah, but it was a big schos. I felt like I was in the presence of a very holy yid. It's a Rosh Yeshiva of 1,700 kids plus 400 kids, over 2,000 children. All right. We're starting today, Daf Amud Beis, towards the bottom, 5 lines from the bottom. Does anybody remember what Mashkanta de Surah is? So, we had Mashkanta de Nachyasa. Mashkanta de Surah is a collateral that you say from the start. Let's say you borrow $100,000. The guy borrowing $100,000 gives over a property that produces fruit, whatever. He says, listen, you take this property for 10 years, eat $100,000 worth of fruit. There is no more loan. After that, it's a set time, set amount, and I don't owe you anything. But meanwhile, take this collateral. Mashkanta de Surah. So says the Gemara, we had that above Metzia, but not everybody remembers it. It's one of the tricky ones above Metzia. Rava bar Sharshaim, there was a person by the name of Rava bar Sharshaim. I'm pretty sure this is the only place in Shas that he's mentioned. And when I remember where it was back in Chaniche, so you're talking about 5 years ago or more, I once decided to go through, I typed in the word Rava in the Bar Ilan program. There's much easier ways. I could have asked the Belzer today how to do it in 3 minutes, but I went through it was thousands of, and I went through each one, and I found 52, I think, different Ravas. Here's one of them, Rava bar Sharshaim. There's one famous Rava, the Abaya and Rava, and there's another 50 plus Ravas. And somebody gave me actually a book with all the names of Tanaim and Roim. There's a whole list. You can see every daf where they are. Okay, so here's Rava bar Sharshaim. Big rumors that he's doing something really wrong, taking advantage of the orphans of the Yisraelim, eating from their property. They just lost their father, and this Rava is going in there and taking fruit. How could that be? Now, obviously, he wasn't a Ganav, so you have to understand what happened there. Abayis meets him. Oh, so over here you see he wasn't really named after Rava. Just in the same generation as Rava. Time of Abaya. We once had easy means my beloved. My beloved, what's the story? It could also mean over here means tell me exactly what happened. I need to know every detail. There was a mashkanta de surah, says the Rashbam. That's why it's kedai to remember these musagim of Shas, these concepts in Shas. There was a mashkanta de surah again. What happened was this individual took 2 loans, and then he died. And he left Yisrael. One loan, let's say $100,000. One loan for $50,000. For the $100,000, he gave the lender, he gave him a field, he gave him, let's say, a vineyard, and he said, eat $100,000 worth of grapes, and then the loan will be erased. For the second loan, there was no vineyard, nothing. So what happened was, the guy dies. The lender's like, oh my, he died. He owes me $50,000. What should I do? I know what to do. I have his vineyard. Let me just eat another $50,000 worth of fruit, and we'll call it a day. Because if I go to the Yisraelim, I'm never going to see a dime. Yisraelim don't have to pay me, really. I'm going to have to swear and this. I'm going to have to wait until they become bar mitzvah. They're 5 years old now. I'm going to wait until they're bar mitzvah. I'm in possession of his field. Let me just continue eating another $50,000. What's the problem? Abai says it's a big problem. You can't do that. Two lines from the bottom. I had collateral. But he owed me another 50 grand. I already ate up the first $100,000. I'm done with that collateral. Aminos, I said to myself, if I return this property to the orphans, and I tell them the truth, I say, hey, your father owed me another 50 grand. So Rabbanan said, Rabbanan say that if you come to collect from Yisraelim, even with a shtar, you have all the documentation needed, you must swear. Says Taisves, Bava Basra was very concerned about swearing, even in truth. He wasn't so concerned about waiting 7 years, 10 years until these babies grow up to be bar mitzvah. I don't know how many years it was. 1 year, 10 years. It could be a nice amount. That he wasn't so concerned. He didn't want to swear even on truth. So I'll tell you the story. Many of you heard this, but if you're new, you probably didn't. A kid comes home, true story. Kid comes home in Yerushalayim with a candy. His father says, how did you get the candy? He said, I found the coin and I bought the candy. So the father said, a coin? Where did you find the coin? He says, up there. The father almost fainted. Up there, that's where I keep my golden coin. The coin I need for when I have to marry off the kids. It's worth $100,000. I saved up my whole life for the coin. You bought a candy with the coin? Father runs to the store and says, you just sold my son a candy? He says, yeah. He said, you took a golden coin worth $100,000 and you gave him a candy? He said, no. He gave me 1 shekel. He gave me nothing. He gave me 10 agurot, whatever it was in those days, back in Yerushalayim, the time of Yosef and Zonfeld. He said, you're a liar. My son, he told me where he got the coin, and it was gold. It was a golden coin. He says, no, it wasn't gold. So they go to the Rav. They go to Yosef and Zonfeld. Yosef and Zonfeld says, listen, you have to swear. You have to make a shvuah, you, the owner of the store, that you didn't get a golden coin. So the owner of the store says, hey, I'm not going to swear. No, I'm not swearing on even if it's true, I know 100% it's true, I'm not going to swear. So Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zonfeld tells him, okay, then you have to pay. He says, okay. He didn't have money. He paid. He took time, paid up. A few years go by, knock on the door. The guy that had the golden coin, his kid bought a candy, opens up the door. Listen, I want to tell you something. I did something really terrible a few years ago. I saw your son walking in the street, and he had a golden coin in his hand. I didn't have food to put on the table. My kids didn't have clothing, nothing, zero. I'm poor. I see a wealthy kid. He's holding a golden coin. The father probably has a lot of these golden coins. I figured to myself, I need the golden coin more than this kid needs it. So I told him, you want to see magic? Yeah. I said, look, I gave him I did a trick. I gave him a small coin and I took the golden coin for myself. I'm here to pay back. I want to do tshuva. I want to pay. And he gives him the golden coin. So the guy goes to Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zonfeld and he tells him the story. And Rabbi Yosef Chaim Zonfeld says, listen, that you went to Bezdin, you took this guy to Bezdin because your son came home with a candy and he paid it with a golden coin. You had no reason to think otherwise. You did the right thing. The guy from the store, the Baal Makolet, he's a big tzaddik. He didn't want to swear, and he paid from his own pocket. But I forgot to tell you a big part of the story. Big part of the story was that a lot of people in the city, they stopped buying stuff at this Makolet because he was a bad guy. He ruined the story a little bit, but okay. They said, look, he's a ganav. The fact that he didn't want to swear is because he's a ganav. And he took advantage of this kid. So it says, the guy that stole the coin, he was in a terrible situation in his life, and now he did tshuva, and Hashem will forgive him. But all those people that spoke about the owner of the store, and they said we should, what do they do? Boycott, that's the word. Boycott the store. Those guys, they need a big kapara. Who knows if they have a mechila? The point is that you see how severe swearing for the truth is. The guy didn't want to swear even though he knew 100% he didn't take a golden coin. He doesn't have any golden coins in his register. He didn't want to swear, and he paid with his own money. That's how severe swearing is, even on the truth. I don't know if you ever had I've heard here in Eretz Yisroel, I heard a guy saying, Nishbalecha be'elokim, mamish such a lashon. I swear in Hashem's name, and it was 100% false. 100% false. People just, they throw it out. Zog the Gemara. Hello, I'm looking at Rabbi Schoenberg and he was asleep. You probably heard the story 6 times already. Right, Rabbi Schoenberg? Hello. We're in the middle of a story here. This guy, he's owed $50,000 by a dead man. And he knows that if he goes to his young children, he's never going to see a dime. He's holding on to this collateral, this field. He could get the money back easily by not saying anything. Let me just hide this shtar of the collateral, and I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. And I'll continue eating from the field until there is no more loan, and we'll call it a day. Then I'll return it to the assignment. So he tells Abaya, but listen, we have a little bit of a problem. I just confessed to what's going on. I just told you my little trick. So you're going to take away the field from me. You can't. You know why? The Migoy, he's a Talmud Chacham. He's Rabbi Bar Sharshan. The Migoy, the beginning, I could tell you, I have a better lie. If I'm lying, then I can tell you even a better lie. I could tell you, Abaya, I purchased this field from the dead guy. You have a proof otherwise? I have chazaka. I sat in this field for 3 years. Where did I get it from? I got it from the dead guy. I bought it from him. So now that I'm saying that these guys owe me money and I'm just going to be here until I finish off the loan, I should be believed even though these children are youngsters, they're not even bar mitzvah. Here, this is the pasuk. Es Hashem lekecha pira. You should fear Hashem. Oisei savoid. You should worship Him. Uvoi sidvak. You should cling to Hashem. Uvishmoy tishaveya. And you swear in Hashem's name. So the Gemara learns that you have to have yira when you swear. It's not a joke to swear. Does everybody remember what this means? Shvuas hesas. Oh, let's hear from you. 13-year-old. Shvu derabbanan. So ask the Rashbam, what did Rabbi Bar Shar gain over here? When he says that the Yisroel owe me the money, he should be chayav at least in a shvuas hesas. He should be chayav in a shvu derabbanan. So he says, first of all, there's another concept called ein nishbam al karka. Since we're dealing with real estate over here, he wouldn't have to swear shvuas hesas. That's one pshat. Another pshat is, I'm just throwing it in. Why not? More yisaidus. Another thing is, he says that this chazaka is so strong that it's like having a shtar. And when you have a shtar, you don't have to swear. Here, I'm showing you. I have a chazaka. I have a very strong proof that it's mine. Called chazaka. It's as strong as a shtar. Okay. Says the Gemara. Omar Le says Abaye to Rava Bar Sharsha. Nice try. Bar Sharsha. Lekucha biyadi lemotzes armes. What do you want to say? You want to say that it's yours. You purchased it from the guy that died. You can't say that. Why? Because there's a rumor out there. Everybody's talking about how you ate fruit from the Yisroel. Everybody knows it's the Yisroel's karka. What are you going to say? Oh, you had a chazaka. So let me stop right over here. You say you have a chazaka, and everybody knows there's a rumor against your chazaka. And memelo what? Think for a second. If you were in the shir last night or you learned this before, don't answer this, please. If you've never learned this before, I want to hear from you, why do you think? So there's a chazaka, a big chazaka, but there's a rumor that it's the Yisaymims. So what? I have a chazaka. Anybody know the answer? Let's see if you're 2 for 2 today. First of all, tell everybody your name. Osher Jacobs. Yaakovs. In Eretz Yaakovs. In America, Jacobs. Okay, what do you say?
I think it's
You learned this before?
No.
Okay, go.
The Gemara's time, when someone would purchase something, everybody would know about it.
Yeah.
So now that there's a rumor that it's theirs,
Yeah.
you know it's that you didn't purchase it.
You see this?
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. It's a good. You're saying great, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. No. Hold on a second. Anybody have the answer? All right, Jacobs, you get it. Is he really? Why are you hiding over there in the back? What's going on here? Wow, very nice. Shalom Aleichem. Okay, listen to this answer. Nobody knows the answer. Nobody can chop it. Yo, what do you say? Machlokas. One of the rules worse than walking behind me over here and talking and opening your wrappers is to steal Hillel's pshat. Only Hillel is allowed to say machlokas. Nobody else is allowed to say it. You apologize to him afterwards. Fine. So the answer is, Rabbi Yisai, listen to this answer. The answer is that when there's a rumor. What happens when you have a chazaka? You're doing a chazaka, you're 2.5 years into the chazaka, and somebody comes and says, hey, I'm the owner, get out of here. What happens? It breaks the chazaka. Why does it break the chazaka, Rabbi Feder?
It's not 3 years.
So what? What? Oh, sure. Why does it break the chazaka? Oh, you need the star. So that's the pshat. When there's a rumor, and you know there's a rumor, people are already there's people talking in the street that it might not be yours, it might be the Yisroel. You should have held on to your star. The whole chazaka is, I don't need to hold on to my star. I'm here for 3 years, nobody said anything, so I lost my star. But once there's rumors, you should have held on to your star. You don't have a star today? That's your problem, you're out. So Nachamol, let's see the Gemara. You couldn't have said that, says Abaya. There's a rumor that it's the Yisroel. So what? So you should have held on to your star. Now, if you have a pencil right on top over there, so you should have held on to your star. That's the Rashbam, very close to where the Gemara is on the side. 4 words.
The star halva is considered a star of ownership.
The star halva.
Yeah, because it's a mashko.
Yeah, what about it?
So it shows you can use it.
No. The opposite. Then it would show that it's not his. It's just the mashkin. You want to have a star that you own it. He doesn't have a star that he owns it. He doesn't have a star that he bought it. The mashkin is literally the opposite of you owning it. You're only holding on to it because there's a loan. And that's why he said, I'm going to hide the star. I'm going to hide it. Nobody will see it. Go give it back to the Yisayimim. When they get older, then you'll deal. Take care of Reb Levi Friedman. Zagazon, I'm going to miss you. Until tomorrow. When it comes to Yisayimim cannot do anything in their father's property until they're 20 years old. 20 years old. Why? That's it. 20 is, till then they're not 100, right? Teenagers they're not fully, the frontal lobe and the back are not really attached 100%. There's scientific reasons for it also. 20. What are you laughing? Is it true or not true? It's true. How old are you?
16.
And you know this? They told this to you? They usually don't tell to the guys until they're 21. They don't want to hurt their feelings. You know about this also? What is it? What? Your brain is not developed. But you're still smarter than your parents. Yeah. Much smarter. Because you have YouTube and you have all the TikToks and that kind of knowledge they didn't have at your age. Yeah. It's Pasha. So anyway, I was also smarter than my parents at your age. I didn't even have YouTube. That's how smart we were. We were so smart then. Anyway, so let's read this again. Ella zilahadrin halayu, give it back to the Yisroel. B'chigadli, when they get older, then you'll deal with them. Rabbi say, how old do they have to be when I start dealing with them? What age? 16. I just said 20 years old to sell any property the father had to deal with the property. How old do you have to be, Rabbi say?
20.
Wrong, 13. Why? Because when it comes to selling a property, you have to be 20. But when it comes to paying off your father's debt, what, the guy's going to wait now until you're 20? First, you had to wait until your bar mitzvah. I don't know how many years that was. Then another 7 years. I'm not saying that's the reason, but you got to pay off debt. You pay off debt. It's very, very important. Also, Rashbam. Zog the Gemara. Krivi the Rav Idi Bar Oven. Story time. The relatives of Rav Idi Bar Oven, Shochiv, died. Terrible. Levaya, the whole thing. And in the Levaya, they were reading the Tzava, and it says, Ushavak Dikla. He left over, unbelievable, he left over a whole palm tree. Happens to be, somebody came over to me yesterday and said, a relative just died, and they found out that he's the only relative in the family, and he got a house from this woman, and he was so excited, and by the time he had to pay off all her outstanding taxes, he was left with a few $100s. Somebody else in this neighborhood just inherited a house in Yerushalayim from somebody he almost didn't know. I don't even know if he knew him. An entire house in Yerushalayim. And Halavai and all of us. I mean, that the relatives shouldn't die, but if they do, these weiter relatives, they should leave some nice real estate without chayvus. Yishmaka stuff, from Chaniche, this guy in Chaniche, he inherited some crazy amount of money from this, and he donated a few $100,000 to Chaniche. He gave the Aron Kodesh, he did the charity campaign, whatever. It happens. Exactly, thank you. So, Mamish, yesterday's parsha, we have this concept of Yerusha goes to the closest relative. It doesn't really happen, I don't think in America, they don't look, then the government takes it. We had the whole story with B'nai Slavcha, so I want to tell you a beautiful pshat. Mendy told me this pshat. I had the schus to be by his house on Shabbos, and he told me this pshat. I thought it was a beautiful pshat. It says in the Gemara that Rabbi Yehuda bar Eli was walking by his property on Shabbos, and he sees that part of the fence fell down. So he says, "Oh, I gotta fix the fence." And then he said, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna fix the fence." Think about these things on Shabbos. Fixing fence on Motzei Shabbos. He says, "You know what? I'm accepting by myself. I'll never fix that part of the fence ever in my life as a punishment." So Gemara says that there was an ace, and a tzlaf. Here's a tzlaf grew right there by the entrance to where the fence fell down, covered that part, and he was able to support himself for the rest of his life from that tzlaf. When I spoke about the tzlaf last week, I walked down the stairs of the Beis Medrash. I noticed that a tzlaf was actually growing out of the stairs. If you look closely, this is what the leaf looks like. You'll see just one little branch growing out of the bottom stair. It might still be there. I don't know. Anyway, So Gemara says, tzlaf echad, gadal, whatever, one tzlaf grew in the tree. Says the Ben Yehoyada, who is tzlaf chad? Says machlokes. Rashi says machlokes. Some say he was the Mekaishish, that he was Mechal Shabbos, the Shem Shamayim, to make a point that if you Mechal Shabbos, it's not a joke, you get Misa. Not that he was right, but that's what he held. Says the Ben Yehoyada that Rabbi Yehuda bar Eli was a Gilgul of Tzlafchad, and he came to fix the Chil Shabbos that he did. And when he thought in his mind that he's not going to be Mechal Shabbos, he's not going to even think about something like that, and because of that he punished himself. That was his tikkun, and that's why Tzlaf Echad grew in his. But you see a very important nekuda over here. See, a person could come to this world to fix one minor thing, not minor, big Chil Shabbos, but the action that he took was minor, sort of. I'm not going to fix this fence. That's it. Done. You're Mekayim, you're Tafkid. You never know when your Tafkid comes, what it is. And another nekuda is that what happened with Bnei Slavchad? Very, very important. It was at the time where Klal Yisrael said, Nitna Roish v'nashuva Mitzrayim. Let's head back to Egypt. Let's go back. Bnei Slavchad said the opposite. We want Eretz Yisrael. We love Eretz Yisrael. There's a time when the Magichir is going to Golos. He's going towards Chicago. Nitna Roish v'nashuva Mitzrayim. But you get the sachar when you say, "What? You know what? The Olam is going. They're going here. They're going there. They're all leaving. They're going on vacations." No, I'm staying here in Eretz Yisrael. I'm staying steadfast in the Beis Medrash. We're going to come every morning. Beis Hashem, there'll be breakfast here. There'll be a matzah. The Olam is going to come. You're invited. Stick to it. Don't be like those. I don't want to call them losers, but those losers that left this year when I went to Chicago. Don't be like them. Stick with it. And so what if the Magichir is Neshuva Mitzrayim? You do the opposite. You do the right thing and you stay here. Because sometimes when you do what's right and you don't follow like the sheep, you noitel schar kulam. Avram Avinu, he did his own thing. Noitel schar kulam. Bnei Slavchad did their own thing. Noitel schar kulam. All those who did their own thing and fifed on the common thing. Oh, we're going on vacation. We have to go to Cyprus and this. We're going safari. All these Rishayim Arurim. You don't listen to them. You stay over here. Okay, very good. Weitergegangen. Mendy, you're in. You're not leaving the Beis Medrash. Okay. Beis Hashem. Judah David asked Judah if he needs any help. There'll be bagels, there'll be stuff here, at least in the beginning. Once we chap the oilam to get used to it, we're going to cut it. But he might need some help. You ask him. We might need some donors. We already have somebody that's donating some of the breakfast, but we're going to make a matzah. Be'ezer Hashem is going to be a matzah. What?
You have to go to the first menu.
Just, if I find out that you take bagels home, I'm going to blow a basket. I'm going to not... The oil's coming out with trays. Now, no, I'm not to eat here. I'll just eat at home with my wife and my children. No, you come here, you eat here, you stay here. Whatever's left over is for my children. Next, put it in the freezer. Zakti Gemara. Oh, Rabbi say, have no fear. Turn the daf for a second. Check out daf Lamed Daled for a minute. With me, do this together. You'll be in shock. Look at tomorrow's daf. Turn. Look at Lamed Hey. Seems I don't know what to do. We have mices. We're going to come up with things. More emails, Be'ezer Hashem. More jokes from Avi Factor. Right, let's go. Okay, so says the Gemara. What happened? We got into this because it says that the relative died and he left a palm tree. Ravidi bar Ovin Omar, Ano Kariv Netvei. Says Ravidi, the son of Ovin, I am a closer relative. Vahu Gavra Omar, and some random person comes and says, Ano Kariv Netvei. I am more of a relative. Nu Rabbi Sai, when two people are fighting, who's more of a relative? What's the halacha? Who said that? What are you, a violent person? Why? The halacha is he's right, 100%. Rocky's right. Kol dalam govar. It's one against one like this. Kol dalam govar. Whoever is more physical wins. And as we said in Bamitzia, the Rosh just said it yesterday, the day before. It also means that if it's yours, you fight till death. It's your father's. Where you're going to give up your father's. It's sentimental to you. You're going to go crazy. So that guy, the Hau Gavra, the random guy, admitted to Ravidi that the EU Kartfei, you're right, it's yours. Says the Gemara, Rav Chizda biyadei. So Rav Chizda said, Ravidi, you take it. Amalei, Ravidi Baravim was not happy. What? For 5 years he lied. He said it was his, and he was more physical than me. He beat me to it, and he took it. Lahadali Peri. So give me all the dates. We said a date tree could produce about $5,000 worth of dates per tree. Good tree, those mejules. I want, 5,000 times 10 years. Give me 50 grand. From that day till now. Omar, Rav Chizda was upset at him. This is a great man. Now he wasn't upset, he wants the money. No. Amanko samachmar. Why do you think it's yours? Ahai, because this random guy who stole it from you now admits the truth. But he himself was claiming the entire time that he's more of a relative, and he took it from you. Now that he gives it back to you, what is that called? A gift. It's a matana. So you can't tell the guy that gave you a gift, hey, pay me from before. It's a gift. Give me everything. No, from today on, it's a gift. Hard to understand the Svara, the Rishonim that argue on this pshat. They say, no, this Ahu Gabra, he was just as a relative as Ravidi, maybe even more. He didn't want to fight, so he gave it to him. So it starts from today on. Okay, one pshat. The Belzer and the Koilel, who knows Shas cold, told me, he said, why does Gemara say, why does Rav Chizda say, Zeu sha'imir malav adam gadalu? This is the guy they say that he's a great man. What does it say in Shas that he's a great man? So he says in Shabbos Daf Chav Gimel, it says the Rav Huna said, whoever will be very careful with candles, he'll have tremendous kids. He'll have Tamid Chachamim. And the Gemara goes on to say that Rav Oven, the Nagra, the carpenter Oven, he was very careful with candles, and he had 2 kids. One was Idi, which means Idi bar Oven, and the other one was Chia. So you see in that Gemara that he was a gadol, because he promised. Rav Huna said, if you're careful, and the Gemara brings that as a raya. Look, he had Idi and Oven and Chia. So obviously the Gemara held that he's a gavarava. Abai v'Rav Eli Sfirlu other Rav Chizda. Abai said, well, no way. If he admits that he was a ganav, so a ganav must pay from day one that he stole it. Now that he admitted that he stole the tree illegally, pay up from all the way there. You don't start from today on. Each person claims that this house or field, or whatever it is, was my forefathers. One brought 2 witnesses, Eidim, it was in his family for generations. And the other one brought Eidim that he had chazaka. Now, so it will go something like this. Yeah. Here we go. We have man 1 and man 2. They both say the same thing. You see what comes out of their mouth? They're saying, it's my forefathers. They're both saying, it's this old guy. Oh, I should really show you this. This is interesting. Here, you see, this is a guy, and that's what his forefather looks like. They look very similar. I guess he doesn't look so much like that. Okay, so now, or maybe he does without the beard. Okay. 2 guys, each one says it was in my family for generations. One brings 2 Eidim that he was there for 3 years, chazaka, and the other one brings Eidim that was his forefathers. Now we had a very, very similar story on Daf Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph. Almost the same words. So if you look in the Rashbam, I don't know if this is true, but it seems like it. The Rashbam says in Dibur HaMasikal, Hay Isis Ad Davosei. So he says something here that didn't say on Daf Lamed Aleph, and maybe he's saying it's a different story. He says the guy brought Edim that he brought Edim that it was his forefathers until his forefathers died, and there was never a sale. Because over there in the Gemara, if I'm not mistaken, there was some sort of rate over there that maybe the forefather sold it to him, and over here it says no. We could testify that they never sold it in their lifetime. Okay. So now that we know that, Omer of Chizdan, it's the same thing as that sugin of Amud Aleph on the top. Malali Shaker, what do you mean? It has a great migui. Why would he say that it was my forefathers and I have Edim that I sat it for 3 years? He could say a much better lie. He could say, I've sat it 3 years and I bought it from you directly. And they say the same thing on Daf Lamed Aleph also. They don't believe in Rav Chizda. Why? He has a migui. Migui means if I'm a liar, I could have said a better lie. That doesn't work when you have 2 Edim that say straight out on the top right that it's number 2's fathers. What are you saying? Oh, I should believe that it's my father's and I sat it for 3 years because I could have lied and I could have said I bought it from you. That's a migui. But it's not as strong as 2 Edim say specifically it's the forefathers from number 2, not the forefathers number 1. The Edim contradict his migui. And therefore we believe Edim, we don't believe a migui. Ahuda Omar Lechavrei. Story after story, and these are real stories. They're not, what if this happens? You're okay. Hakol b'seder. Givaldik. You go. Shkoyach. It's unbelievable. How's it going? We're good. It's good. Givaldik. How dam Chavrei, my boys by Arrow. You're okay, Shamshi? You sure? Hi, my boys by Arrow. What are you doing in my land? What are you doing in my house? What do you mean? What am I doing here? What are you, crazy? You don't remember? You sold me this house 3 years ago. I'm already here for 3 years, sitting here. You didn't say a word. So he says, okay, prove it. Okay, no problem. Nebuch. He couldn't find anybody that could testify that he was there for 3 years. The most he was able to come up with was 2 years. Omer of Nachman, Hodra Arav, Hodra Peira. We even had this Rav Nachman earlier. He says, not only do you have to leave this house, you have to leave this field because you don't have a chazakah, because you only have raya for 2 years out of the 3. That's not enough. You also have to pay for all the fruit, anything you ate from this field, you have to pay up. So says the Rashbam, provided there's Eidim how much he ate. You need Eidim how much he ate. And how much fruit does he have to pay for? 2 years. He has Eidim that even, they mess him up. He tried to bring Eidim that it says he had chazakah. The Eidim say that they were there for 2 years. They're actually testifying that he ate fruit illegally for 2 years. That's what they testify. So pay up for 2 years. Huh? No, it's not. He didn't go and steal. He's not a ganav. You only pay cable when you're a ganav. You own somebody's house. If you by mistake, you thought, oh, you're saying that he did it on purpose. He's mamash a ganav. Okay, maybe. I hear. Maybe you should pay careful. Omer Zvid. Im time v'omer leperis yirati nema. If this guy, from the start, he never said, I bought it from you. Never. That's not what happened. The owner comes and says, what are you doing here? What are you eating? So he says, what do you mean what am I doing? I work here. I'm an artist. I'm a sharecropper. I get a certain amount of fruit. I'm eating my fruit. Nemon. He's believed with a shvuah seses. Yeah, you have to stick that in. He's believed, but you need a shvuah. Labi Omer Rav Yehuda. So listen to this. I wanted to show this video, but I couldn't edit it and whatever. I didn't have some. Today, you can look it up if you want on Kosher Tube, maybe. I saw another tube. It's called something to. I could get into anywhere with a ladder. It's a gewaldige thing. A guy puts on a blue shirt that says, it has his tag name, and he holds a ladder. And with the ladder, he just walks into a movie theater. He goes, where the speaker? Yeah, they say over there. And he has a ladder. He holds a ladder. He goes onto a cruise ship. He keeps on walking into different funny places with the ladder because he's wearing a blue shirt. And nobody even questions him. It's like not even a shaila. He goes onto a boat. Everybody's paying and paying. He just walks in with a ladder. And the guy looks at him and keep on going. It's like, check it out. It's pretty interesting. I think, what was the best one? I'm trying to think what the best one is. Everything. Just keeps on walking into places because he's holding a ladder. That's mamish the sugi over here. This guy, man denokat magala v'suvalyo. He comes with his ladder, his rope, his saw. Here's a magala v'suvalyo. First of all, it's this scythe, whatever it's called. It's some sort of saw, like this. These are dates, obviously. Boom. That's how you knock down. Now, if it's taller, the tree is much higher. Like in Los Angeles, you ever seen those palm trees in Los Angeles? I've never seen anything like it. They're like 100 something. Mamish, like you can't even see it. You have to you need a binoculars to see the top. Crazy, yeah. So how do you get up there? Today we have the machines. I think it's like one of the most dangerous jobs. These like hundreds of people die a year from climbing these palm trees to get the thing. So you can do this. Yeah, you have a little rope. You see the rope here? It's holding his foot. And you cut the thing. So a guy shows up with all the tools. He comes in like he owns the place. You own the place. Shalom Yisroel. Oh, I'm going up there. What are you doing? I'm going up to the palm tree. He sold me the fruit. Mehemen, he's believed. Why? Nobody's chutzpahdik enough to go into somebody else's property and cut it off. You have to know the tricks of the trade. You could be in chutzpah. I mean, chas v'shalom. I'm not telling the other what to do. It just happens to be. I remember, like when I was a caterer, nobody walked into the kitchen. It was like, but there's certain people that just walked in like they owned it. And then if somebody did that, none of the waiters would kick them out because they're not going to be chutzpahdik to this guy that has a suit and he starts. You walk in with confidence. You just flip the door open. You start looking like you know what's going on. You look at the guy, the waiter, and they all run away. If you start looking like a goylem, like, sir, outside. You can't come in here for your dessert. You know, like right away. But if you come in with a chutzpah, yeah. I'm talking about from the waiters. Anyway, nobody's going to be chutzpahdik enough to do that. Reb Reuven Karelstein, Zechron Levracha, said that our generation, all the kids are very chutzpahdik, the way they talk to adults and So somebody, I forgot, somebody was there, shleima, somebody said something to him. So he said, let me tell you a story. He says, a kid comes home from cheder, he tells his father, I got a smack in the face today from the Rabbi. He says, you got a smack? What did you do? He said, I said to the Rabbi, you're stupid. He said, that's what you said to the Rabbi? What are you, crazy? You know what you're supposed to say to the Rebbe? He said, Rebbe's stupid. You don't say you're stupid. So Mela, he says, that's why the generation is like that today. It comes from the parents. What do you expect? Zog the Gemara. Hillel gave me a skava. I like it. Yeah, in third person. These guys had no idea what I just said. They're like, very stupid. Okay. You have the joke? Okay, good. Was it a decent one? Pretty good. But you didn't even smile. You did? Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't notice. Okay, Zog the Gemara. So, that's it. If a guy comes in like he owns the land, we should trust him also because he's not going to be chutzpahdik to take somebody else's property. No, when it comes to land, they'll say, show me your star. Land, you need a star. You need some documentation. Fruit also, don't you need a star? No. Star lepera, le'avdinish. People don't put together documentation for fruit. Rabbi, have a wonderful day.